into that fullness. And as a community of faith, what does it mean for us today to think about new creation, newness of being? This day, we are having a children's epiphany pageant that only 10 years ago was beyond our wildest imagination. To think that there would be 30+ children up in front, memorizing lines, taking on new tasks, and bringing life to this sanctuary. For those of you who were here 10 years ago, how many of you actually envisioned in your wildest imagination that scene?
Chris. Yay, Chris.
One. A prophet, huh? A prophet is. But to imagine that sense of creativity and new creation. That God does not let things go without notice, but calls forth a new light and a new imagination here in this place. And as we talked about earlier today at the very beginning of the service in the introduction with Pastor Judith, what does it mean for this holy imagination, this light to break into our lives as individuals and as a community as we welcome our brothers and sisters in Christ? As we recognize that we are stronger when we envision together. When we come with all that we are. Those places of deep longing, of deep brokenness, those places of deep history. Many of you may not know that El Milagro is part of the St. Luke's tradition, which goes back 125 years.
Jane, help us out here.
It goes back long, long before this. And it invites us into a conversation about what does it mean for us to envision this congregation, this community, in a way that is multilingual, that is continuing to grow in what it means to be multicultural, what it means to perhaps bump elbows and live through uncomfortable times as we try to figure out how to work the dishwasher together or get the microphones and soundboard working for two congregations, or when one space is reserved and we're having to juggle and figure out what that means. Are we willing to let the voice sound? First, in terms of the holy creativity, to say, let there be light. It sounds over chaos, right? It's not over a prim and proper little world that we construct. It's over the chaos. Let there be light. Are we willing to live into that chaos and let the light shine forth over and through it? And then, are we willing to imagine what it is like for us as two congregations dwelling together to hear that outpouring of love? You are my beloved child, my beloved children, for each and every person. That no matter what brings you in this door, a longing, a sense of duty or obligation, a guilt, a wondering, a seeking, a struggling with addiction, a struggling with loneliness, a sense of promise, a sense of wonder, a sense of hope, a sense that there is belonging. Whatever brings you in these doors, that you hear the promise. You are my beloved child. And this day and always, God says, with you, all, I am well pleased. Thanks be for the light over the water, for that sense of being beloved.